What is up, everybody? Give me some ones in the chat box. Let me know that you can hear me okay, see my screen. You should be seeing how to monetize your passion by building a profitable blog in 20 minutes. Awesome. Where's everyone calling in from today? We've got a huge rainy ice storm here today. It's pretty nuts. It's been like this for like a week now, but we just got hit with another one today. I went and bought 150 pounds of salt and salted the driveway tonight. Came into the house soaking wet, and I really honestly don't think it did a single thing. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow if I try to leave. Let's see, we got Terry from Ontario, Canada. Paul from beautiful Barbados. That sounds nice right about now. Andrew from G'day, Australia. Awesome. Bob from Myrtle Beach. Brenda from LA. Shelley Wood from Auckland, New Zealand. Welcome, welcome. Monica from Canada. Colin from Ontario. Joey from New York. Sue White from Myrtle Beach. Stephen from Cape Cod. Seen a lot of familiar faces. Welcome. Patricia from Northern Arizona. You're going to be in for a treat for this one, Patricia. This is going to be an awesome webinar with pure training in it. So I know that you'll get into that one. Anthony from San Juan. Welcome aboard, Anthony. It's awesome. Well, I appreciate everyone coming to hang out with us tonight. I really think that's how you should view this. A little hangout / training session. Barbara from Orlando. I'll be down in Orlando next month. Barbara, welcome. Going to get out of this winter wonderland. Actually, it's been a weird winter here. We haven't gotten much snow, which is very odd for Wisconsin. Normally, we're like pummeled in snow. But instead, we're just getting like this rainy ice stuff every like few days, and it's really weird. All right. So today, I brought in Stefan Ciancio to train with me today, and we're going to both be kind of going back and forth training. So it's not like a, it's not going to be like a pitch fest like most webinars. This is going to be like legit training that you're going to be able to go and take action on immediately after watching this if you want to. And I think you're going to want to. And really, the whole premise is that I want you to make your own decision, if this is worth your time or not. I just want you to give us a fair 20 minutes. And within 20 minutes, I think you'll have a pretty good idea of whether or not you want to stick around for the rest, because you're going to see how valuable this content is and this training is. And we're just very, very excited. Stefan and myself, I went blog-centric a few years ago. I'll let Stefan tell you about when he did. But it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my business. It's been very, very profitable for me, and I'm working on other stuff as well, and we'll share more about that as we get into the presentation. But I'm just very, very excited for you guys. I just want to get a feel for who we have on the call. How many people here have actually started a blog already? Put a 1 in the chat box, and then put a 2 in the chat box if you haven't yet. I just want to get a feel for, where we're at. Oh, wow. Okay, but I would say it's about 50-50 across the board, so awesome. Well, this is going to be great for you either way, because there's a lot of components, a lot of moving parts. Once you got the blog set up, how do you get traffic? And once you got traffic, how do you monetize? So we're going to cover all of that stuff with nothing left out. So yeah, let me introduce our guest today. It's Stefan. Stefan, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Awesome. Mark is asking, what really is a blog? Well, a blog is your website or a website that talks about a topic that maybe you just want to talk about, or maybe you have identified as a good niche, or maybe something you're passionate about. A lot of the examples that we're going to share tonight, I think some of the people started just because they were passionate about it, and I think it kind of happened by accident that they ended up making, hundreds of thousands of dollars from it, which is insane, really. But we'll get into it. So yeah, man, I'll let you take over, and I know we're going to be jumping back and forth, but I'll let you start off and, take it away.
Great. All right. Well, thank you, Paul, and welcome everyone. I'm glad to be here. My name is Stefan Ciancio, for those of you who don't know me. I actually met Paul last year in Orlando at a marketing convention, and we kept in touch, and we kind of linked up because we both realized how powerful blogs were. I was doing something that Paul found pretty unique with kind of basically making it super easy to get traffic and profits pretty quickly with the blog. And we decided this would be perfect to turn into a training and kind of just get out there to you guys to really give you really clear direction in this new year, to kind of start seeing results. It's 8:06 now, so I think I'm probably going to go ahead and start the presentation, Paul, if you're good with that.
Sounds good, and definitely. I mean, I think it was around March when we met in Florida, so almost around this time of year. That's why I'm heading back down there again just to get out of the cold. But yeah, that's how we linked up, guys. So it's definitely an interesting story and funny to come around a year later and do this. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I am just going to make my slides full screen now and start the presentation. So let's get going. All right, guys, so you are viewing how to monetize your passion by building a profitable blog in 20 minutes with Stefan Ciencio and Paul James. Here's what we're going to be covering today. We're going to do a quick meet your presenters just so you kind of know who's talking to you and why we're qualified to, the power of blogs, and then how to set up your own blog and monetize your passion, which is the meat and potatoes here, the training that we're going to be giving you. So I'm just going to dive in here. A little quick about me. My name's Stefan, obviously. I went full-time about a year and a half ago. I currently earn from 2 profitable blogs, and I'm growing a third one that's coming along really nicely. And I earn in 2 niches mainly. So I have 2 main niches that I'm earning money with. And basically, I was a mechanical engineer. I just kind of really didn't like what I was doing. I felt like I could aspire to be so much more. And, through the power of the internet, I was able to kind of make things happen and kind of create a lifestyle for myself where I wasn't relying on my job for income. And basically, at the end of the day, blogging was very centric to me being able to do that. So just going into it, I'm going to let Paul say a couple things about himself.
Yeah, guys, I'm sure most of you here know who I am, but just for those who don't, I got started full-time about 7 years ago now. I think we're almost crossing that mark, which is pretty insane. Time sure flies. And one of the main things that I've done was I focused on growing my brand through my blog. And I saw some people doing it, but for the most part, I think a lot of people were missing out on that concept. And I focused on it early on, which I believe allowed me to grow a very nurturing and close fan base, which is, I think, really key. So I'm focused on growing 2 more blogs, and you guys will probably hear about at least one of them very soon. I'm actually just finishing the redesign of it, or the new design. It's a brand new site, and I'll probably be sharing that with you guys coming up soon. But it's pretty exciting, and I'm really, really excited to continue focusing. I'm really, really focused on growing blogs in 2017, and that's kind of why we wanted to bring this presentation to you as well, because Stefan and myself, we linked up and realized that we had some common goals for the new year. So, yeah.
Great. Yep. To the next slide here. So Paul already kind of touched on this, but you guys have a blog. So you guys, we saw that a bunch of you do and a bunch of you don't, and that's perfectly fine. You're in the right place either way. And really, when it comes down to it, what a lot of people don't, I think, understand is that having a blog is the backbone of seeing success online. Almost all successful online marketers have a blog, and many bloggers earn upwards of 6 figures a month on their blogs. Okay, so there is big money in blogging. If you stick with it and you keep growing that nest egg, it's going to turn into quite a bit of money, especially if you're doing it in the way that we're going to show you. There are some blogs that earn quite a bit of money here. I just want to give you some examples. So Making Sense of Sense, Michelle has been earning roughly $100,000 per month with her blog for quite a while now. Smart Passive Income, Pat Flynn does well over $100,000 a month with his blog. I think he's had some months in the upwards of about $150,000, if not more. Project Life Mastery, Stefan Pillarinos, he does upwards of $100,000 a month on his blog. He's done more as well. Pinch of Yum, it's a food blog, and they've done anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 a month consistently on this food blog. Then there's me. I make upwards of $20,000 a month online, and a good portion comes in from blogging, just kind of like growing my income through those blogs. And then there's Paul, obviously, who has generated 7 figures in sales online. Most has been generated through his blog and brand, and Paul has been blog-centric the whole time. Paul, I don't know if you want to just quickly add anything to that before I head to the next slide.
Yeah, I mean, mostly the whole time since I started focusing on online stuff. I would say my full-time stuff mostly started with local SEO, and then as I started to develop a brand around SEO, that's when I became blog centric. So just so everyone knows.
Great, great. So this is actually really, really important, and I've talked about a lot about this with Paul. But why are bloggers so successful? And the answer is that your blog basically grows with time. Um, if you have like a landing page that's just basically like a squeeze page and you run paid traffic to it, that's not a full business, and you're really missing out on the power of kind of long-term having a kind of public area that people could kind of keep revisiting and seeing new content and starting to really trust you. You're missing out on all of that without having a blog, and you're not building a full business, and you're not really building something that's like a machine that's going to keep running and growing and bringing you traffic and conversions. Paid traffic also eventually shuts off. So if you don't have a proper system in place, like a blog ecosystem, that's kind of what I like to call it, you can't walk away from your business and still profit. So think about, you have traffic turned on and you're running paid traffic to just like a landing page or something. You can make some money that way, and that's fine. But imagine you have something in place like a blog where you just have like this perpetual traffic keep coming to the blog, and you're constantly making sales and making money, and people keep revisiting, and it's just spreading really, really well, and you're able to kind of just keep getting results and build off that kind of perpetuating traffic. And that's really what you want to tap into here, and just really start seeing results like these bloggers that are seeing 5 figures and 6 figures a month. And actually, Paul, when we were discussing, you really broke this down really well. I don't know if you want to just say a couple of things here quickly before we move on.
Yeah,
Just talking
yeah,
about how
yeah.
you mentioned that.
Yeah, for sure. I think last time we talked about this, one of the questions I asked, and I'll let the audience kind of chime in here. What do you guys think happens when someone comes to, my blog or Stefan's blog, and they read a post and, maybe they like it? What do you think they do from there versus if we were to have just sent them to a landing page? Just put in the chat box what you guys think. Okay, I see some good answers coming in. That's definitely true. I see some people saying share it, signing up, leave a comment. Yeah, for sure. But one thing that they do is it's like a content multiplier because they end up not just reading one post, but they come and they read another. So now I've essentially taken one stream of traffic and multiplied it in two or three or four. And I see someone said, Stuart said they read more. Yeah, that's exactly what they do. So you're essentially taking your efforts and you're double, tripling, or quadrupling them, if that makes sense. And you turn them into fans, and they end up subscribing, like you guys said, and sharing it. And your efforts are just multiplied, which is what's so awesome about it.
Great. Yeah, that's so. As you see, guys, Paul does a really good job of explaining that. And at the end of the day, I mean, and Paul kind of already pretty much said this, but the way I like to think about it is, if you have these people that come to your landing page, if they don't like initially what you have on there and they leave the page, you're done. But if you send them to a blog, like Paul said, there's tons of different pieces of content on there with time. It's not only attracting only the people who like that one page, but you have all these different pages up there that are, it attracts an even slightly more broad audience that can still connect with your blog. And long term, that's going to mean way more profits. So that's really the true potential that I think most people leave out when they don't focus on having just a simple blog. And another thing I'll say is how beautiful it is the fact that your blog could be honestly pretty much about anything. I mean, you saw on a previous slide there's a food blog that's doing extremely well. Your blog does not need to be about making money online. Okay, like there's so many different things your blog could be on. Um, it could be on gardening if you want. You could still make money with a gardening blog. There's so many different directions you could take it in, and that's why I really, really love blogging, because really all you're doing is you're attracting visitors that like what you have up there, and you're making money from them if you set it up the way that we show you. Um, and also, for those of you who are worried about content, I'll just say this now before we go any further. It is possible to not even write your own content and still keep things very, very, very cheap. So I'm sure that might excite you a little bit to hear about how you can go about that, and we're going to be touching on everything in this call, so don't worry. Um, let's go to the next slide. So we kind of already touched on this a little bit, and I'll just run through it kind of quickly. But advantages of a blog are over time you'll have many, many channels of traffic to your blog, which we kind of already said. So it's not just some landing page that's up in the middle of nowhere. This is something that's a footprint that's growing, and more people are going to discover it, and you're going to be able to draw in all this traffic over time from many different traffic sources and channels of traffic. You build this brand. Your blog kind of becomes a brand, and people trust it, and they keep buying from you. So it's just so powerful over time. It's just you're not going to be able to avoid the amount of traffic and conversions that are going to be coming into your blog. And as I said earlier, you can make money by monetizing your passion. Imagine that, being able to blog about something that you really love and still being able to get results from it. I mean, that's powerful. Um, you don't even have to write your own content, as I said earlier. And you can earn from so many different channels. There's Google AdSense. You can collect email subscribers who love your content and will keep coming back. You can do e-commerce. You can do affiliate products. You can sell your own products. You can sell services. There's so many different things that you could sell because really all you're doing is building this kind of self-perpetuating traffic source. And I'm going to be covering, some of the earning methods that I use and just how easy it is in this presentation. So hang tight for that. So how do you create a blog, which is what some of you are probably wondering, and that's kind of what we're going to be covering today. The good news is that setting up a blog is not technical whatsoever. It's actually extremely easy to set up a blog. You do not need to know any coding or anything difficult, and we'll walk you through how easy it is to set it up and start monetizing your passion. So that being said, guys, I hope you're excited. It is blog creation time. We're ready to rock and roll here, so I'm just going to minimize this presentation and head over to my browser. Just make sure everybody can still see. If you could see SiteGround hosting. Paul, you seeing that?
We are. Yeah, guys, just give us some ones just to make sure. I see Keith says yes. All right, yeah, looks like we're good to go. Awesome.
Excellent. All right, guys. So first thing you need to think about when you're starting a blog is you need web hosting, okay? Web hosting can be incredibly cheap. I'm here on SiteGround. You don't have to use SiteGround, but SiteGround is an excellent, one of the best hostings out there in my opinion. And basically they have different plans. I mean, you can see how cheap it is. There's plans as cheap as just a few dollars a month. The starter plan here is $3.95 a month. I mean, that's cheaper than breakfast in many cases if you go out to breakfast. So, this is not an expensive startup cost for something that could really change your life. You don't have to use SiteGround. You can use, there's many other companies. There's Liquid Web is another really good one. I like SiteGround. I found their customer service to be excellent. I found just everything about them to be really, really good. They're also pretty fast. So I really have no complaints about using SiteGround. So that's the first thing you kind of need when you start a website is you need to get some hosting. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is you need to figure out a really good domain. Okay, so let me go to GoDaddy.com here, and there's a few sites that you can get domains from. GoDaddy is one of them. Another one is Namecheap. So I'll go Namecheap here. You can see that they're both just give a second to load here. They're both just websites where you can pick up domains. So, when it comes to picking a domain, there's kind of a few different ways you can go about it. Personally, I think that you should always try to just choose a domain that best represents what you're trying to do. So don't try to overthink it. I mean, at the end of the day, there are some advantages to having a domain laid out a certain way for ranking in Google, but for what we're doing and the way I'm going to show you to do things, it's not really super necessary. So, for example, if your site is going to be about something like cooking, you could probably search for a domain like I don't know if your name's let's see, Underground Cooking Bliss. I don't know. So let's see if that's available. All right, so undergroundcookingbliss.com is available. And something that's important to note is that when it comes to picking a domain, I usually like to say go for .com. I again had this discussion with Paul where .com usually is the best one you want to go for because not only will it help for ranking with Google, but also it's just the most recognized one by people. They always think .com. No one really thinks about .net or .xyz or .org. I mean, people always kind of think about .com. So just for branding and also some rankings in Google, it's really important to kind of try to get the .com. If you absolutely want a domain that's not available with .com, you can get .net, but I wouldn't recommend venturing off too far from that, and I would almost definitely recommend trying to get a .com. You can get domains pretty cheap. Usually, depending on what plan you get, you can get them for as cheap as $2.99, and on Namecheap, some of them are as cheap as 88 cents a domain. If you go to Google, you can also search for a GoDaddy coupon, and a lot of times you can get domains for the first year for 99 cents. So domains are not super expensive. Another thing you could do is if you go through SiteGround, I believe they still have it where you can get a free domain name when you get their web hosting, when you sign up as a web hosting customer. So that's another route you can go. You could just sign up and kind of get that free domain through SiteGround if they still have it. So there's a few different ways to get your domain name. So really when it comes down to it, guys, that's the first two steps in starting a blog is you got to just kind of pick a domain name and you need to get some hosting. See if there's any questions so far. Let's see. Richard likes is on SiteGround. That's good to hear. Cool. So someone else actually listed another website, domainspricedright.com. So if you guys want to check that one out. Someone's mentioning about Wix and Squarespace. I don't really like Wix and Squarespace, to be honest with you, because I don't feel that it has the customization that what I'm going to be showing you has, and I'm actually going to be diving into WordPress now. So I showed you guys hosting and web hosting and domains. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to head into one of my cPanels here. So once you sign up for hosting, basically you're going to be given a link to log in to your website, just so you could kind of start, getting started with it and taking control of things. So I set up a cPanel earlier just with a new domain name that I bought, just to show you guys how to go about setting everything up. So once you get to your cPanel page and you log in, you're going to be taken to cPanel. I don't know, some of you have probably seen cPanel on here before. If you haven't, this is just kind of what it looks like. It's just kind of where you can kind of control things for your domain. Now, if you come down, once you have hosting and a domain name and you're all set up with your hosting with that domain name, you want to go to Softaculous here. Okay, and you want to go to WordPress. And you just want to go to click Install. Okay, you come here, you can select the domain you want to use. Mine is doggybond.com in this case. So you come down, you can type in the site name and site description, username and password. So here, I could do doggybond, whatever, as a password. And basically just come down and click Install. It wants me to increase my password strength, so I'll just kind of do that real quick. It's going to take a minute here. Looks like it's installed. I'm just going to click here. So it's going to give you the login link, so I'm just going to click here. And it looks like we're in. So once you do that, you're inside your WordPress. So the first thing you want to do is once you're in here is you just want to kind of get some plugins installed. So for those of you who don't know what a plugin is, basically it's just something that's going to really help you kind of start getting things going much faster. And for the guy who mentioned Wix and Squarespace, this is why I like WordPress, just because it makes certain things way easier. So if you go to plugins and you go to add new, you can go to keywords here and just type in one of the most important ones is going to be Yoast SEO, and I'll kind of explain to you why that is. But if we install that now, let's get that going. So basically you just go to plugins, add new, you search for a plugin, and then you just kind of install it. So I click activate, and now it's going to be active. I'm going to be showing you just how powerful Yoast SEO is in a minute. But that's definitely one of the plugins that you definitely want to have installed. I'll go to add new. There's a couple other ones that you definitely want to have. So another one is PrettyLink. And what PrettyLink does is it actually makes it so you could basically have any website start with your domain, coming from your domain. So I'll show you what I mean by that. I just installed it. So if I go to PrettyLink here and I go to dashboard, oops, sorry, a pretty link. I could go to add pretty link. I could type in, let's say you want to like have something redirect to Google. You could just type in the link here of where you want to redirect, and then you could just go Google here, and it'll come from your domain. So, for example, if you have some link like, you know, like it's an ugly link, maybe it's an affiliate link or something like that, and you don't want to just have your website linking directly to that, you can have it looking like it's ranking, it's coming from your URL here. So if I click create, sorry, it wants me to just add HTTP here. So now if you go to this link, it's going to actually direct us to Google. So I'll just show you that here. And there it goes. So that's a very powerful plugin because it lets you basically do exactly what it's called, make your link pretty. And that's good for branding purposes, to kind of make your site look just cleaner and nicer. And also, I believe it helps with Google rankings, as I've been told. So that's a really important plugin to have. So outside of plugins, one of the other most important things that you're going to need is a theme, okay? And what a theme is just kind of how your site looks laid out. There's tons of different themes out there. There's paid themes, there's free themes, and I'm going to be diving into like which ones I personally like and recommend. But if you go to all the different themes in here, right now we're on 2017, which is fine, but there's tons of other ones out here that you could pick. I'm just going to pick a random one for this presentation. So you can come down and you can pick white spectrum looks fine, so I'll install that one. We'll activate it, and I'll kind of run you through just kind of getting the bare bones set up here, and kind of the first thing you need to do, excuse me, to just start getting results. So the theme is set up. It's active on our site now. Doggybound.com is going to have this theme. Now, how do you go about actually setting it up? Well, there's a couple different pages you can go to, but if we go to settings, I'm sorry, appearance, customize is where we want to go. So if we come to this page, from this page you can pretty much edit majority of the site. So for general layouts, you can go to post layout and page layout. So if you go to post layout, you can kind of select how you want it to look. So you see that by clicking this, I moved it so that the kind of sidebar moved from the right side to the left side. But you can also get rid of the sidebar altogether, okay, and just have the text centered in the middle. I'm going to go back to having it on the side here. So that's pretty good. I'll save that. Okay, we'll go back. Page layout is going to be the same thing. You can select that, and then there's custom layout. And guys, it's going to vary a little bit from theme to theme, depending on which one you use. So don't kind of look at this as going to be the same for all themes, but this is where you want to go to edit it, and you just kind of have to step through everything. It's pretty straightforward. If you go to site identity, this is where you can change the site title, which is up here, and then the tagline, which is over here. And if you want to set a logo for your website, you can just select an image here, and that's going to be the that's going to go right there. So if we come down, there's header image and background image. So this is where you can put a header image up the top, and then there's background image here, and then there's menus, which I'll be going over shortly. But this is kind of just how you play around with the setup of the website. So what I'll do is I'll get out of this for now, and what I'm going to do now is just quickly show you how to set up a menu. So if we go to, first thing we want to do is set up some pages. So depending on which pages you want to have on your site, I usually like to have a home page, so I'll call that home. I'll just kind of make a few of these here just to give you a feel. You could do home page, you do a blog page. Okay, let's add another one. We'll do an about page. And we'll do a contact page. Great. So now we've got we've got 4 on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to appearance menus, and we're going to create our first menu. So I'm going to call this main menu. Okay, so what we're going to do now that this is called the main menu is we're just going to select all 4 of these, and we're going to click add to menu. and it just lets you drag them out however you want, um, to how you want to have it set up. So I usually like to do home, about, blog, contact. And another thing to kind of note here that's pretty cool is if you want to have a drop down as part of the menu, you just have to slide this inward a little bit. So now under blog, there'd be like a little arrow and you'd be able to select contact. And you see it actually says sub item when you move it forward like this. So I'm going to leave it as, just main items here, home, about, blog, contact. I'm just going to click save menu. Okay, so now we're all set. We have the um, 4 pieces on our blog. Now we just go to manage locations, and then there's going to be primary navigation and social navigation. We're going to use primary, which is going to be the one that is going to be towards the top. So I just assigned it. So now if we go to our site, we should be able to see a menu at the top. Okay, and there it is. So you can see that there is home, about, blog, and contact. All right, the next thing we're going to want to do is we want to set our home and blog pages to be recognized with this WordPress setup. So we're going to go to settings, reading, and from here you can set your front page. So your front page is going to be home, and your post page is going to be blog. That's how I usually like to set it up. Okay, and we'll just click save, and you'll see if we go back to the website, the home page now is going to be content that you could fill in. It's not directing directly to the blog. We still have our about page, which we obviously didn't put anything on, so it's blank. But then there's blog, and you'll see that blog is now going to be what we had before on when you just went to doggybound.com. It defaulted to the blog. But since we specified that we want the blog page to point to this blog link right here in the menu, it moved over there. So now we actually have a pretty nice bare bones setup for our blog. Now,
Hey, Stefan,
yeah,
I see a couple people asking what theme you use. Would you mind covering what theme you actually use? I know that you use that.
absolutely, guys.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be covering that in a
Awesome.
second. I just wanted to kind of
Oh, okay, cool.
lay out the. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm going to be covering actually quite a bit more on the actual blog setup. So don't worry, guys. Hang tight. I promise. Anything that I miss, I'll definitely get to. So
Awesome.
basically, this is just the basic setup here that we covered. Now, if you were going to go about creating a post, what you would do is you'd go to Post, Add New, okay, and you could title it like my first post or whatever. And if you were doing, this says doggy bounce, maybe it's a dog post, and you could just say something like 5 ways I know my dog is happy or something like that. Okay, and then you just go in here and you can either write it yourself or outsource it, and I'll show you how to go about outsourcing it shortly. And you just go about putting the content in here. I'll just create, a little bit of content here, and I'll just click publish, and then that's going to now show up as your latest blog post. If we go back to the site and we go to blog, it's going to show up here, and that's your first post. So really, when it comes down to it, guys, setting up this profitable blog, I just kind of gave you the bare bones of just, look, I have it's not super pretty, but I just showed you how easy it is to get started, and we already have our mock first post up here. So if we go back to that post, you just click Edit Post at the top. I just want to show you some important things here. If we come down, you'll actually see the Yoast SEO plugin, which is something that I talked about earlier when we installed it from the plugin section. And what this does is it basically helps you rank in Google by telling you what you need to do to make your post ready for Google. It's a very, very powerful tool. And Paul, I don't know if you want to quickly mention, I know we talked about it, you mentioned a few other really big advantages to Yoast SEO. I don't know if you want to just touch on those real quick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the biggest advantages for Yoast, in my opinion, is that you guys see where it says that snippet preview? That's going to actually be what shows up in Google when someone sees your site. So like if someone typed in Google, how to know if your dog is happy, this is like what they're going to see. So you can customize it and make it compelling so that people actually click on your site versus the other things that are listed on Google. So this is referred to as the metadata. So it's important to put something there that's going to entice someone to clicking on it. So that's one of the most important features of why I use it.
Excellent. Yeah. So Guys, there's just a ton of advantages to using Yoast, and it's totally free. I mean, they do have a premium, but I don't use it. I just use the free version. Down the road, if you're really killing it, you can definitely go for the premium. But at the end of the day, what it does is it just really helps you rank. So it starts by having a focused keyword that people could search for in Google, and eventually your posts can start ranking for you. So you definitely want to be doing this because long term, the more content you have, you're eventually going to get some traffic from Google for one way or the other. So you could make your focus keyword um, ways I know my dog is happy. Okay, so I'll just type that in here. And guys, I'm also going to be delving in a little bit into keyword stuff and just how easy it is a little later on. But basically, you can edit the snippet here, and you can make the title 5 ways I know my dog is happy. And it's going to give you suggestions about lengths and stuff. So you can see here it's saying this is orange, which means that it kind of wants you to make it a little longer. You don't need to be perfect with this. You just need to get the readability at least into the green. The more pieces that you can get, um, solved, the better. But if you really can't make it work, don't stress too much about it. So you can come here and make your description something like, being a dog owner can be tough sometimes because let's see, our focus here is ways I know my dog is happy. You don't always know if your is happy. Here are 5 ways I know my dog is happy. Something like that. I'm just giving you a quick example. And you can see it likes the length of our description, so it made it green. We could close that, and that's done. And you can see that now we have a few green circles here. So the meta description contains the focus keyword. The length of the meta description is sufficient, and you've never used this focus keyword before. And you can see that there's other things it gives us. So for one, it always wants you to have a minimum of 300 words. Since I just wrote content in here 9 times, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to be able to check that one, obviously, but if you write that minimum of 300 words for your first post, this will be green too. And then there's just a few other ones like the page title, including links in your post, and including images. So if you want to include a main image, there's actually a featured image option here. So you can just go to set featured image, and I'll be covering again where to get the images and stuff in a minute. But if we just go to update, that's kind of just how you go about getting that first post. Um, and it's pretty easy. I hope you see. I mean, like, if you wanted to, if you were just doing what I just did, and you weren't kind of explaining everything, you could have had your first 300-word post up on your blog about gardening or about dating or whatever you want it to be about. Um, so what I'm just going to quickly do now is show you, okay, well, how do you actually go about making money with this post? And the answer to that is actually, I'm going to show you just the easiest way to go about it. So what you would do is you could go to back to the plugins, and you go to plugins, add new. Okay, and then you could go to you're going to go to search for a plugin. You're going to search for quick AdSense. Okay. So if you want to go to quick AdSense, you just go to install now. You can see there's over 100,000 active installs, and there's other ones that you could use. I really like quick AdSense. It's the one that I use on all my sites. It's pretty easy to use. And what it's going to do is it's just going to basically allow you to monetize your posts uh, automatically after setting a few settings. So guys, how do you actually earn with this blog now? That you have this blog, you have this content on it, but where's the money coming from? Well, one site that you could use to set up with is adsense.google.com. And basically, it's going to allow you to just use Google to place ads, and then Google will pay you directly just for getting traffic to the site. And if people click the ads, you get commissions, and you can make very good money just doing AdSense. There's tons of other ways to monetize, and I'm going to be showing you how I do so on one of my blogs a little later on. But for now, I just want to show you how easy it is to get started with AdSense. Now, you do need to have some content on your site when you apply for AdSense. So ideally, you probably want to have, I'd say, the minimum 10 or 15 posts, just because you don't want to just show them that you have zero there. They want to make sure that you have at least some content up there. So when you apply, you do want to have some content, but once you meet that minimum, it's pretty easy to get going. So you can just get your AdSense account, and they're going to give you a code. Once you log in, it's pretty easy to get. And once you go back, once you have that plugin installed, you can just go to the settings, and this page is just going to show you how easy it is to set everything up. So at the top here, like as I mentioned, it integrates with Google. So here it tells you that Google allows publishers to place 3 AdSense for content on a page. That means that you can have 3 ads on your page. 2 of them are going to be main main normal ads, and 1 is going to be a sidebar ad. So, and it basically just lets you assign where you want these to go. Okay, so from here you could choose a position. I usually like for my 2 main ads, so you can have. I usually like to do ads 1 and ads 2. So ads 1 I'll usually do after the first or second paragraph. So in this case I'll do paragraph 1, and then ads 2 you could do after the third or second. I'll just do second. Okay, and guys, I'm giving you pretty much exactly how I structure my ads here on my site. There's a ton of different ways you could do it, but this one is going to really help your revenue. So I hope you're taking notes on that. That's something that's definitely going to be really useful for you when you place AdSense on your sites.
Hey,
The next thing
Stefan.
is, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, by the way. I think that that's going to really help people out. One thing that I think people might be curious about is, can you explain a little more about what ads 1 and ads 2 is? Are those like different size ads, or like what is it just how they label them in the plugin, or what is that exactly?
Absolutely. Yep. I'm definitely going to delve into that in a second. It's just down here. So basically, well, yeah, I'll cover it now. So pretty much ads 1 and ads 2, guys, that just means um, whatever ad code you want to assign. So basically, when you're in AdSense, it's going to it's going to show you different size ads that you could use. So maybe, for example, a full size ad or a medium size ad. There's different dimensions, and it's going to give you a code once you create that different ad. So basically, if you create, for example, a full size ad, uh, and you want to assign it to ads 1, you just grab and copy and paste that code into ads 1 right here. Okay, so I just type in ads 1 code or something like that, and then ads 2 code just as a placeholder. I mean, this is going to be the code you get from Google, and you're going to put it in here. So if I wanted ads 1, the first ad code that I got to be the first one I display, I would put it in ads 1 here, and I would come up here, and ads 1 would be um, the first item displaying in my post. So basically, whatever code you put in ads 1 here from Google, from AdSense, from when you sign up here, is going to be displayed after paragraph 1. And then ads 2 is going to be if you get a different size ad and you want to display it after the second paragraph, you could go to ads 2, you place the code in here from Google, and it's going to display ads 2 here. And you could choose different ads. So you have up to 10 different, whatever codes you put here from Google, you could choose whichever one you want to display. So maybe you have a third size and you want to try ads 3 right after paragraph 1. That's just all that means, guys. It's pretty simple, really, and I really love this plugin because it makes it so you don't have to individually insert code on every single post that you put up. It's going to do that for you. It's going to use the same settings and put the ads in the same location every single time. So when it comes to appearance, I usually only like to put the ads on the posts page. I don't usually like to put them on pages. And again, posts are going to be the stuff that you're putting up, the content that people are going to read. Pages are just going to be like your About Me page, or going to your blog page that has all your posts on it, or your home page, or your Contact Me page. I don't like to put ads on those pages. Those are kind of just like the pages of the site. But for content, you definitely want to make money from having ads on there. So that's just how I go about setting that up. You come down and you basically put that code in here from Google. You assign wherever you want those to display. And again, I really recommend that you go after paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 here, and you just click save. And now on every single post, that AdSense content is going to show up. It's not going to show up now because I didn't get any real code here from Google, but I'm just showing you how easy it is to set up. And now what you saw is, okay, how easy it is just to get a bare bones site set up, how easy it is to get your first post set up. All right, so if we go to the blog, you'll see the first post, and how easy it is to have. And look, here's that code here, guys, just so you see. So this is where those ads would theoretically go after paragraph 1. So this text would technically be like a full paragraph, and there'd be an ad there, and then down here there would be excuse me, content, which would be another paragraph, and then it adds to the ad. The second ad would go here, just to show you. And that's kind of just how easy it is to start getting going with blog. Now, just to kind of address some of the I guess, making it pretty or making it professional things that you definitely want to look at. Now, there's tons of different themes out there, guys. There's free themes and there's paid themes. I personally use a paid theme called Flatsum. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly load that up. You don't have to start with this, but it is honestly my favorite theme. It's actually a WooCommerce theme, which means that it integrates with e-commerce products, but you don't have to use it for that, and you can make it basically customize it to anything you want. But if we go to live preview, we'll just see here that it's a beautiful theme, and there's so many different ways that you could set it up. But if we go to pages, that's like the pages we have on the dummy site we set up, but there's so many different styles to it that you could use. So if we go to dark style, let's see what that is. So, here's just like an e-commerce item on here. And again, you don't have to use e-commerce, but if we go to the different types of sites and examples on here, you'll just see that's a really, really beautiful theme. It sells for on the Envato market for $59. Personally, I think it's really worth it. Again, you have to choose a theme that you think is right for you. Another really good site is called Elegant Themes. It has a ton of really, really good themes on there that if you want, you could start using. If you go to view our themes, you can see them here. They have a ton of different themes here for blogging, and you can just see that pretty much whatever you want they have. Here's a nice one, for example. So really, guys, finding a good theme is just about kind of looking around a little bit, maybe even testing a couple. Again, Flatsum, if you really want to know my go-to, it's that, and I'm going to show you a site that's set up on Flatsum in a minute. But basically, yeah, you have a ton of options when it comes to themes. And at the end of the day, if you want to explore themes, you can go to the Envato market, theme forest. You can just literally go to Google and type in, best themes on WordPress and just kind of look around at what people are getting. Another thing you could do is if you find a site. Sorry, Paul? Oh,
I was going to say I'm actually using an Elegant Themes for my pauljames.com site is actually built out on Divi, so just to give you kind of the feel for what it looks like too. So
there you go, guys. So Paul's actually using Elegant Themes, so you can see it's really good stuff there. Another thing that's really powerful is you can actually, oops. No, I want to go to Google, not Gmail. If we go to Google, we can actually look for a reverse theme lookup. Oops. So if you know a site, there's actually different websites out there that will do a reverse theme lookup. Hold on, I just gotta find one. So here's one here. If you type in a site, you can actually see what theme they're using. So for example, I'll use my site that I'm going to be showing you guys in a minute anyway, and I'll type that in here. Let's see if it pops up the right theme here. But this is just kind of a good tool to use to kind of, if you like see a website that you really like and you're like, oh my god, I really want to know what theme they're using, this is just going to really help you do that. So we'll wait a minute for that to process. Sometimes it takes a minute. Just going to look at the kind of the couple questions here that are coming in. Let's see. All right, so Trey, I hope that kind of answers that about what the best themes are. I hope that kind of, a few of you guys are asking about the best themes. Let's see. Do they change ad look? Let's see. Yeah, so Diane, the ads will usually relate to the topic of your WordPress, but in many times um, retargeting ads. So if you visited a site about gardening, but the site that you're on is about something else, it'll still show a gardening ad to you. Like sometimes it'll be a retargeting ad from Google, and sometimes it'll be actually relevant to the content. It looks like this responded, so let's see. So as you said here, let's see. So it says this theme is seems to be called Flatsum, and as you see, it actually did pop up that I'm using Flatsum. So that could be something that's really powerful and helpful to you in finding themes that you really like. And obviously, don't make your site look exactly like someone else's, but if you like the general way it looks, it's always good to have know what themes people are using. So I hope this is a powerful tool for you to kind of use. So going back to actual posting of content on your site. If we go back to our kind of dummy site here, if you want to get like a really nice logo, I always like to use Fiverr. So you can go to Fiverr.com, and the guy that I like is actually ZDesign12, and you can see here that he has a gig here called "I will design a unique logo for you in one day." He's really, really good, especially for $5. I use his logos on pretty much all of my websites. So if you come down here, you can see that he has like really, really nice logos. I mean, for $5, guys, this is like, I don't really find guys that could do this could have worked for $5. So yeah, I recommend if you really want a nice logo and you don't want to spend a ton of money, this is my go-to guy. At the end of the day, it's Fiverr. You can obviously search for like, site logo, and you'll find a ton of people that could be really good for your site. You can filter by average customer reviews to get the best guys. Like this guy looks like he could be pretty good, and you just, you kind of filter by there if you want to try someone else. Now, when it comes to actually putting images on your blog, so if you want to have images in your post and also have a featured image, there's a few sites that you can actually get, really good free images. So one of those sites is pixabay.com. So if we head here, you can actually see that they have over 850,000 free stock photos, vectors, and art illustrations. So for dog stuff, you can type in happy dog and see what comes up. Not happy do, we want happy dog. And you come down, you see that there's a bunch of images that you could use on your site here. So if you just type in dog, you'll get even more. So we have a ton of images here that you could use on your site. And again, these are all royalty free, so you could just download them and use them and not have to worry anything. Guys, do not go to Google and just pick random images off the search, because you never know what kind of issues you might run into down the road. It's not worth the risk. So just always use royalty free images. There are other sites you could use. There's also subscriptions you could pay into, like Shutterstock, which is going to have more images. But honestly, to start, you definitely will be more than okay with Pixabay. Okay, so that's definitely something that's really easy to get started with. And basically, if you want to like put text on images, a really powerful tool that I like is Canva. Okay, and it's pretty much free to get started. They have upsells and stuff in there, but you could literally just get started and then get a ton of really great um, results just with the free version. All right, give it a second to log in here. So you can see here they have a ton of pre-made templates here. So let's see. Maybe you want to use this one, reach your peak, and you just wanted to get a nice graphic that you could use. You could choose whichever image you really want. These look like they're all free, so let's see. Let's do that pants one I saw. That one? No. Or this one, I guess. So you could just, choose any image you want, and you could edit the text in here. So, I'm not sure what you want to make this, but, just showing you how easy it is to kind of come in here and edit. And you could just kind of change. You could delete text. So I could save that. And if you want to save it, you can just go to download, and you could choose what you want it to be: PDF, PNG, JPEG. So you can go with JPEG. It'll save it and it'll download it. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. Oh, it went away. Here we go. So obviously we didn't edit this properly, but I'm just showing you how easy it is to get a nice graphic done really easily if you do it yourself. And I'm going to be touching on that a little later. But basically, guys, if we go back to our site, doggybond.com, let's just go through. Oops, why is this not working? It's weird.
HTTPS, and it because you came from Canva.
Oh, there we go. Hey, sorry about that, guys. I just had the wrong URL in there. I was using HTTPS instead of HTTP. Thanks, Paul. So we're back to our site here. And basically what we covered already, guys, we covered, all right, how to get your first post up, how to monetize it with Google AdSense, how to get some nice graphics and pictures for your post without kind of, violating any rules and making sure you're doing it royalty-free. I showed you some really good themes that you could use and the plugins that you definitely want to be using. So the next step is, once you have all this set up, here's the big question. How do you get traffic, right? Because anyone could make a blog and anyone could put posts up, but how do you actually get traffic to your blog? And this is kind of the really important part of this webinar and kind of the information you really want to pay attention to, because long term you will get some Google traffic, okay? You will get some Google traffic over time, and you probably will make some money. But that's the really long play, and something that is part of building that kind of brand and kind of building all that content that we talked about earlier. But what about getting rapid traffic much faster? What about kind of turning on that traffic faucet, a little bit
Hey,
earlier?
Stefan.
Yeah.
One other quick thing that I think might really be helpful, maybe before we get into that, is could you cover how to come up with something to write about for your post that's going to make a lot of money with AdSense?
Yes, you're absolutely right. I have to cover that. So sorry about that, guys. Paul's right. That's something I need to cover. So I guess let me take a step back from the traffic talk, as you saw I was getting really into that. But let's talk about something that's equally as important and equally as exciting, is how the hell do you figure out what you want to write about, all right? And maybe you're passionate about a topic, maybe you're not. You don't need to necessarily be super passionate about something to write about it, but it does help if you're into it at least a little bit. That being said, it's not always easy to kind of figure out what you want to write about. So what you could do is you have a few different options. One of the sites that I really like is called BuzzSumo. So if you go to buzzsumo.com, you can enter something here like, for example, if you want to type in something about dogs, you can type in dogs here, and what it's going to do is it's going to find you some of the most recent viral posts. So you can see that there's one post that went absolutely crazy viral on Facebook with 1.7 million engagements, called "Man Devotes His Life to Adopting Old Dogs Who Can't Find Forever Homes." So some topics that you might want to write about then, if you want to have a dog site that has popular stuff, is maybe different cases where dogs get adopted. Maybe you even want to cover this story, but in your own words. And just kind of make sure you're not stealing content. You definitely don't want to do that, but this is excellent for generating ideas. 11 ways dogs tell you they love you. This did extremely well. 706,000 engagements. And guess what, actually, guys? The site I'm going to be sharing with you, I'll spoil the kind of surprise now, is actually a dog blog one of the sites that I earn money with, and I'm going to be showing that to you. And one of the topics I have on there that does extremely well is, ways to tell if your dog is happy. So that kind of is very similar to ways to tell if your dog loves you. And I could see why that topic is doing so well for me, especially seeing that this post about if they love you is doing so well. So don't underestimate the power of seeing these viral topics and kind of using them for your your own websites. So if we come down here, illustrations every dog owner will understand. So maybe connecting with the dog owner on a personal level, and just kind of gives you ideas. I mean, you could choose another one, like maybe gardening. You can see here, like naked gardening is, I guess, a thing. So maybe you want to cover that. Doctors should prescribe gardening for patients more often. Maybe talk about the therapeutic benefits of gardening. That's obviously a pretty hot topic. 5 gardening tips that will give you tons of strawberries. This one is not super popular, but if you come down, CNN rating drop below gardening network as Trump supporters boycott over bias. So that's obviously not necessarily talking about gardening itself, but here's a really good one: 44 best shrubs for containers, and that one has 1.6 thousand shares. So obviously gardening is not as popular of a topic as something like dogs, but nonetheless, pretty much any niche you type in here, you're going to be able to get some really good starting points to see what went viral and what's doing really well. I mean, another topic is maybe fitness. I guarantee you there's going to be some very, look at this, 705,000. Why breast cancer can look and feel like photo. Okay, I don't know what that is, but you could kind of just see here that you can just get tons of different options. And if we click on this, it should filter by how popular they are. So look, the health benefits of knitting. There's another niche for you. And maybe you want to do a site all about health benefits. So maybe your site is the health benefits blog, and you do a different post about health benefits of knitting, health benefits of gardening, health benefits of exercising, different stuff like that. But I'm just kind of giving you ideas of what did well based on what this site is telling me. So that's a really great way to get kind of viral content. Okay, so definitely take the site down called BuzzSumo, guys. It's very, very useful and beneficial for you to kind of figure out what the hell you want to talk about. Now, another site that I'm going to show you is AdWords.google.com, which you may have seen before. But if we come in here, I'm going to show you something that you might have not made a click on that I think is going to be a really good aha moment for you. So I'll just kind of log in here. So I'll stick with the dog type content and themes. Again, you could do this about anything, but sticking with dogs, if we go to, I'm sorry guys, AdWords is just kind of loading up. Give it a second, and I'll show you just how powerful what I'm going to show you is. I'll just kind of refresh it a little bit. Sometimes I guess it gets a little stuck. This is always the fun part. So if we go to Tools and we go to Keyword Planner, and let's give it a second to load here. I wish we had some Jeopardy music at this point. This is kind of what we need, but
I think the internet is just being slow today.
yeah, definitely seems that way. So if we search for new keywords using a phrase, website, or category, we can just type in dogs here, and we could get ideas. And guys, what this is going to do is this is going to just pull up a ton of different related keywords to your main keyword. Okay, and guys, this is a free tool, and the specific function I'm showing you here is free. Paul has a couple other really great sites that I'm going to ask him to mention as soon as we're done. I'm done showing this to you here. But as we come down, we can see if we see a bunch of different keywords that come up, we can filter by suggested bid. And what we could see here is, okay, what's the suggested bid? And we can get an idea about topics that are paying out a little higher because, guys, Google AdWords is actually where people go to advertise for their business or whatever ads they want to run. Google AdSense is kind of like the opposite of Google AdWords because you're on the earnings side here where you're actually displaying content through Google for the people that are advertising through Google AdWords. So what this means is that if someone puts up an ad about a dog training career, the suggested bid per click is $6.61. So if you write about something related to a dog training career on your blog, you have a much higher chance of a much higher earning taking home a much higher profit than if you blog about something like, and we'll go down to like a much lower suggested bid keyword. Um, we'll just come down to, I'll show you another one, like housebreaking dog. This is 85 cents. So this is definitely going to pay out lower in, most cases than this much higher suggested bid keyword up here. So if we go to the top, we'll see again that which one was it? Dog training career pays out much more. So maybe you want to talk about dog training careers and then the benefits of dog training careers and how they're fulfilling on your site as one of your posts. 10 benefits of a dog training career. And it has a fairly high, well, not necessarily a fairly high monthly search volume, but it has high competition, which means that there's definitely people searching for this. So, or at least a lot of people bidding, which means that there probably means a lot of people are searching for it. So this is kind of how you can go about getting ideas too, and you could filter by this suggested bid. Again, it's not set in stone that you have to go with whatever has a higher suggested bid, but it does help to know what type of topics and what type of keywords are going to generally bring you a much higher payout. So I hope that this tool, Google AdWords and BuzzSumo, give you some pretty good insight into that. And I know, Paul, you had a couple other sites that you mentioned that were really, really good. If we want to just kind of give this to the audience here.
Yeah, sure. So the two sites that I like to use is a combination of a Chrome plugin called Keyword Keg, and you install that plugin, and then you visit ubersuggest.io, and those two, the combination of those two together, will load suggested keywords related on whatever you type in, which is awesome. So it'll go through and like type in dog A, and it'll start coming up with all the keywords that start with A after dog. So like it might come up with some random thing. But so where it says free Chrome extension, that's really what you want to do is you want to download that Chrome extension, and then that will allow it to plug into ubersuggest.io, which is really awesome.
Excellent. Sorry, what was the name of the other one? Ubersuggest.io?
Yeah, ubersuggest.io. Yeah, so actually, if you like type in dog there, just for example, just to show them once. So what happens is it searches and finds all the like related keywords. If you scroll down, it found 366. But when you have Keyword Keg plugged into it, to the right of it, it'll actually show the cost per click and the exact monthly search volume that those keywords get as well.
Amazing. So
that
is
you have to have
excellent.
Keyword Keg installed.
Right, right. So guys, Keyword Keg and Ubersuggest are definitely two that you want to put on your notepad or kind of just bookmark for later. So combine those tools with the AdWords plugin and BuzzSumo, and you're never going to have a shortage of content, especially when you put your brain to it, especially if you're a little bit passionate about what you're writing about, which is not a requirement again. But now that we covered this, guys, back to what I was talking about earlier, which is traffic, guys. Traffic is basically, once you have your site set up, that's more or less the easy part. You need to get traffic, okay? And again, you're going to get some traffic long-term from Google, especially if you're using the Yoast plugin, especially if you're kind of looking at keywords the way that we showed. You're going to get some traffic, but you're probably wondering, how do you go about getting some really fast traffic outside of Google? Because, it takes time, and that's definitely going to be something that's going to make you money long term. But what about kind of getting things going more initially and also having a traffic source that you're not fully reliant on one? And this is actually the unique thing that I think Paul really liked that I showed him, and it's something that we're really excited to kind of tell you about. And the way that you could kind of go about getting really fast traffic to this blog that you're setting up, start making money and getting traffic much sooner, is through Pinterest, okay? And I'm going to be kind of showing you how to do that. And I don't know, initially what you're thinking is probably, oh, he just wants us to make a Pinterest account and just put our content on there, and then over time it's just supposedly going to bring us traffic. And that's not the case. It's actually a really unique way of using Pinterest that it seems like a lot of people don't really know about or are not taking advantage of. I don't want to use a word like untapped, because I'm not even sure what that really means when people say it. But what I will tell you is that there is a way to use Pinterest to get tons and tons of traffic in many, many popular niches really, really fast. Okay, I was able to use this traffic source on Pinterest to get over 80,000 visitors to my dog site pretty much within the first month of applying this kind of traffic method. Um, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to actually take you to one of my blogs that I earn with this method, and that is doggydesires.com. So as you can see here, it actually uses the Flatsum theme, which is one of the ones I told you about that I really recommend. You can see it has a logo here, and this is one of the logos that I got for $5 from the Fiverr guy that I mentioned earlier. And if we come down the page, you can see that I have a ton of blog posts on here. I'm going to kind of delve into that in a little bit. And also I have a little ad here on the home page. I don't really do a ton of ads on pages, as I mentioned. I put them on posts, but I did put a little one here on the home page. And I have e-commerce products on here. So this is WooCommerce, or this is Flatsum, which integrates with WooCommerce, which is if you want to put e-commerce products on your blog, you could do that too. That's another way to kind of go about monetizing. And basically, at the end of the day, this is just one of my sites, and I get a ton of traffic from Pinterest. So actually, let me go ahead and click down here to go to my Pinterest for this site. And you can see that it actually has it only has actually 5.5 thousand followers, which is, that's a pretty good amount, but considering I get over 80,000 visitors, you could kind of see how, it's not really about how much followers you have, but rather there's a different way to kind of go about it to get all this traffic, which I'm going to be telling you about. And you can see that this is just how I have it set up. I have a few different boards here with different things. I have a best of board, which is something that basically you definitely kind of want to do. And the best of board basically means you're going to be putting in your own content into the best of board with a nice little image there. As soon as this loads, I'll show you. It looks like Pinterest is being a little slow today. Let me just click that again. Let's close out of some of this stuff up here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you may want to try closing some of those tabs down. That might help.
For sure. So guys, here are a lot of my posts. If you click, basically in this this board that I have up here, anyone who comes and sees this and clicks on one of these images, this is going to actually go to something on my site. Okay? And actually, it's good that I clicked this particular post because I'll be able to show you another way that you can actually earn. But if you come down, and guys, you can actually see this is one of my posts, and you can see that I have an ad here and I have another ad here. It's not coming up right away for some reason, but here it is. So there's two of the ads in the exact same location that I mentioned that they would be. But if you come down, this particular post actually advertises Amazon products if you want to be an Amazon affiliate. So another thing that you could do on your blog is you could actually promote being an Amazon affiliate. You just go to Amazon Associates through Google, you'll find the link and you could sign up to do that. That's just kind of showing you another way that you can monetize your blog, because there's so many different ways that you could take your blog. And you can see here that anyone who clicks on here can go to Amazon, and they're potentially going to be, a buyer of one of these products. And it helps to do this too, because a lot of times people like buying from brand names like Amazon, where they feel like their product is going to get there really quickly and it's just a really reputable brand. So it's always good to have different excuse me, monetization options. I'm just giving you another example here, but as you can see, this is pretty much a backlink from Pinterest to my site. So anyone who comes through this pin is going to be able to get to my site. So that's kind of one way that you could siphon traffic from Pinterest. It's not the main way that I'm going to show you momentarily. But basically, another thing you could see here, if you see these little pins with the little number here, this is basically the number of times that this pin has gotten repinned. So basically, it's, if you know Facebook, you know that there's a share feature. Well, on Pinterest, the share feature is basically called repinning. So what that means is you can actually go about having your stuff, repinned all over the place. So people are just going to be repinning and repinning and repinning, especially something that is a really popular topic, and it could pretty much go viral. Excuse me again. And basically, that means a ton of free traffic for you. And if you look, some of mine do really, really well. This one in particular um, has 2.4 thousand repins. This one here has 2.6 thousand. This one has 1,000. This one has 1.1 thousand. And if we go to my winner, which should be down here somewhere, here we go. 10 signs that your dog is happy. 3.4 thousand shares, guys. And I'm actually going to be showing you how much this one little post earns me pretty much every month, roughly what it earns me every month. I paid about $5 to $10 to get this post outsourced. I didn't even write it myself. I did edit it and upload it to my site, which only took a few minutes, but I'll show you what it looks like here. This is just one post that for some reason people love, and I guess it kind of makes sense considering what we saw on BuzzSumo, that a similar post was doing really well. It's just kind of a little you know, entertaining slash silly post for dog owners. It's kind of like an upbeat, is your dog happy kind of post, and it's not super long. It's like I think like 1,000 or 1,500 words, which you know you could do anything above 500 to 1,000 to get started is perfectly fine, and just kind of put some images in here. I'm sure you saw this when I was searching dogs on Pixabay earlier, which is that royalty-free image site. That's one of the images from there, so you could see that I definitely use images from Pixabay because honestly, there's no reason not to. But momentarily, guys, I'm going to show you how much I'm earning every month from this initial $5 to $10 investment. And you're going to be pretty surprised because this post just basically brings me consistent revenue every single month, as well as the other ones. But I'll show you the results of just how powerful one little post can be. But if we go back to Pinterest, you could see that these pins that link to these kind of pins appear linked to your site on a specific post, and anyone who gets there from Pinterest sees the article but also sees your ads, and that's where the money could come from if you're using AdSense. So you can see that that's kind of extremely powerful to get kind of a ton of traffic and get results. But where does the traffic actually come from, which is what I'm going to show you now. If I go back to my main, the main, let's do it this way. Oops, sorry. The main, so this is my main Pinterest profile here. This is where pretty much the big secret lies. If you come down, as soon as it loads, kind of X out of a couple more things here.
Question that might help to cover when you're doing the Pinterest boards, like in your best of board, those are images that you design in Canva, right? Just like you showed earlier.
Yeah, so guys, you could design this in these images in Canva. You could hire someone on Fiverr to do them. You know, a lot of these, some of these I did myself. Some of them I got through Fiverr. You could also get someone on Upwork.com, which is another freelance site. So it's really up to you on what your budget is. But generally speaking, you want to have the image being very similar to kind of what these look like, where it's a little taller. And you saw that the example we used with Canva pretty much fit this type of look. So at the end of the day, you know, these are ones that I did myself. These are some of the ones that I got a Fiverr guy to do. But it's really up to you and your budget and what kind of you know, work you want to put in. As long as it's tall, usually 1,500 tall by 1,000 long, 1,000 wide, or half of that, so 750 tall by 500 wide is fine. And this is just going to help you get a really nice click rate from Pinterest to your site by setting it up in this way. It just kind of really draws people in because of the length for some reason. So guys, once we do that, once you kind of have this Pinterest profile set up, which only takes a couple of minutes, you just go to business.pinterest.com to set it up. You just come down here, and I'm going to show you something a little distinct between the different boards that I have. As soon as it loads, give it a second. So if we come down, we could see that you'll see that some boards here have no circle and some boards do. So you'll see that this one, Pomeranian Love, that's a personal board of mine. It has no circle. This one, Our Pets, you can see that it has this little circle here. So if I click on it, you'll see that this particular post or this particular board it's called a group board. And what that means is it has a ton of followers and a ton of contributors. So basically, what this means is that with this has 42.7 thousand followers. So what it means is that if you get your post in here, those posts that I showed you earlier about, you know, the with the images that link to my site, if you can get those images in one of these boards or multiple of these boards. So for example, if I got one in here called Art Pets, if I got an image in here, it's going to immediately have reach of 42.7 thousand followers in this board. So that's really where a lot of the traffic is going to come in. And this is very, very powerful, especially if you get into a ton of group boards. So this one here called Our Pets, again, has 42.7 thousand followers. If you get into this, if you have that image set up linking to content on your site with monetization, you're going to be able to get a ton of traffic back to your site and also to your main Pinterest, and a lot more people are going to follow you, and it's just going to start to snowball and really get you amazing results. There are group boards in almost any niche, which I'm going to show you momentarily how to find them. But how do you get into these group boards? Well, basically you click on the first person that you see up here. This is the owner of the group board. So Dr. Joe Rigetti is the owner of the group board. You can message her directly on here. You could click here, click on her. You could follow her. Well, we're already on here. And then, let's see. Once you follow her, if she accepts, you'll be able to send her a message, okay? Or whatever you want to do from there. You can also go to her site. And actually, many times in the description of the group board, it'll tell you how to get in. So here you'll see she actually gives us the information. It says if you would like to join, send an email with your Pinterest name to info@petproblemsolved.com. They're not always going to do that, so that's why you want to try to get their info and contact them directly on their Pinterest. But also in this case, she gives her website, so you'll be able to kind of go here and look for her contact information if you wanted to. So that's kind of very powerful, guys, is getting into these group boards and getting your content posted to these group boards. If I come here and I type in something like, so we'll do Pinch of Yum, which is actually that food blog that I mentioned earlier to you. If we go to their site, so if we come here, this is the Pinch of Yum Pinterest. You'll see that they have quite a few followers. They're up to 104,000 followers. If we come down, you'll be able to see that they're in some food group boards. Here's one where it's actually an income reports group board, so that's always interesting to see. But if you come down, you'll see this one, healthy, light, and skinny. So this is a board about pretty much about supposed to be about, I guess, lighter fares of types of food and stuff like that. And you'll see that this one has 249.8 thousand followers. So imagine having a food blog and getting your post into here, okay? So this is extremely powerful. So that kind of explains it, guys. How you go about getting all this traffic is through these group boards. And if you go to these people who are in these group boards, you can come down like Avery Sunshine. She's probably in many more. You could come down and see which one she's in, and you could basically make a spreadsheet of all these group boards and start contacting people to let you in. So here's one here. Though that's the one we already saw. If we come down, I'm sure there's more. This one is called Holiday Cheer, so it looks like it's about holiday-related food. This one's called Easy Favorite. It looks like recipes. And here's another one, All Things Savory. Look how many she's in. Awesome Eats, Awesome Things, you know, it's just food-related. Bake, Cook, Eat, Best Comfort Foods, Best Comfort Foods, Best Cakes. Guys, look at this. There's just so many. It's an endless supply. And all these, you know, there's tons of dog ones, as you saw on my site. There's tons of food ones. Any of the big niches. There's even gardening ones. There's money ones. There's business. There's motivation, sports. Pretty much whatever niche you think of, there's going to be group boards out there that can help you get more traffic. Fashion is another really big one. And guys, this is extremely powerful. As I said, it seems like a lot of people are not taking advantage of this, but this is extremely, extremely powerful. Okay, this is pretty much something that I'm working to really take advantage of, and I'm already seeing amazing, amazing results with it. And that kind of brings us to our next thing, which I mentioned earlier, that one, that one post that I mentioned, which is doing extremely well every month, bringing me really great revenue. Let's go back to my presentation here, and I'll show you what the numbers is currently getting me are. So you see here from December 10th to January 8th, that one is your dog happy post generated me $258.93. And it's pretty much been doing that for me every month since I created it a few months ago. I spent between $5 and $10 and basically a few minutes of my time to get this post up and on my blog, and it's earning me pretty much a passive. This is just one post, guys. Can you imagine having even just 10 of these posts a month that are doing this on autopilot? That's $2,500 a month. Now, obviously, there's no guaranteed how much each post is going to earn you, but I'm showing you what's possible here because literally just one simple post here is earning me quite a bit of passive income. And each of these little posts that you put up that are monetized, whether it's with ads or whether it's through other methods like e-commerce, if you have monetization there, they're kind of like little income machines in a way because you're basically spreading around these little um, these little posts around these group boards and your Pinterest, and they're going to be making you money. And if people like them, they're going to repin them. And the more it goes viral and kind of gets repinned, you're going to start making more and more money from all that free traffic. So I hope you see the power in this. I mean, imagine 100 posts that were doing this well. That math works out to what, $25,000+ a month, and that's what's possible with having a system like this in place. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know if Paul, you want to kind of just say anything about that before I kind of go on, but
Yeah, I think it's crazy. Like, if you think about this, this is almost like being like a real estate agent almost, or like a real estate investor. Think of each post that you're putting up like your own apartment. Like think of your blog like an apartment building, and each post you put up like a unit in your apartment building, and each month that tenant's going to come paying you this $258.93. Well, it only makes sense to keep renting out more units, right? And it's just amazing, like what you can do with Pinterest, and that's what really attracted me to what Stefan was doing with his blog, and I feel like it was the missing piece of the puzzle because I had struggled for so long getting traffic to my stuff and building followers and fans over the years. Like, I feel like I could have done it so much faster had I been leveraging this as well.
yeah, absolutely, and it's a really good analogy the way you put it with the whole like real estate thing. I mean, really, that's a really good way to look at it. And even the whole machines thing too. It's like, okay, you have this post and you just kind of let it run around doing its thing on these different group boards, and it's just going to bring you revenue. I mean, there's no easier way to kind of earn, in my opinion. I mean, I've been doing online marketing for a while now, and if you want something totally hands off, this is literally, I mean, this post, I haven't touched it in months. So, it's pretty hands off.
Let's think
Uh,
about the side effects too of getting a post like this, right? Like, what's going to happen when Google sees all of this traffic coming to the post and people sharing it and people loving it? What do you think is going to happen, guys? As a side effect, an unintended good consequence of all this Pinterest traffic coming in, right? It's going to rank in Google too, most likely, without you having to do anything. You're going to do the Yoast thing, but I mean, how long does that take you? 2 seconds? It's just an unintended awesome consequence of Pinterest.
exactly, guys. That's basically just another really awesome icing on the cake, and those social signals of all that kind of it tells Google that this is a popular post, and basically at the end of the day, it's just really gonna, it's gonna over time. It just kind of goes back to the power of a blog because all these different things come together with time and really help you earn more money. So having this set up properly and having this set up, the right way from the start goes a long way, especially in making, this year. If you start this year, the sooner the better in 2015. It's really going to go a long way in kind of helping you make this your best year and kind of get over all those past hurdles that have prevented you from getting results. And this is something, I don't think a training like this has ever been released before, and I'm really proud of that because this is pretty unique, pretty damn unique. Now that being said, let me just go to the next slide here. We kind of showed you guys how powerful this is and how much this is really going to help you. And now that we've covered all that, I just kind of want to introduce something that me and Paul were talking about, and it's an opportunity, first of its kind. You basically have a chance to be in on one of the first to take advantage of this. And basically, what it is, it's an opportunity for you to monetize your passion in 2017, learn how to create a profitable blog, and build that kind of long-term profit asset or retirement solution, as I like to call it, because this is something that's just going to keep growing and growing, and kind of you're just going to keep reaping the benefits over time. And learn the rapid traffic that I'm using and how to scale this big time with no stone left unturned. And basically, we're just kind of bringing in this opportunity for you to basically work with me and kind of get your blog and going this year and really start kind of monetizing your passion and kind of getting the results that you've never really been able to get before, or kind of, really want to take things to the next level. So, this is kind of the point where, we're going to be starting to take questions and kind of, tell you guys, or, answer your questions about this opportunity and anything else you have questions for from the presentation. Paul, I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I was going to say, we could have easily came at the end here and put up a buy button and gotten tons and tons and tons of sales. We've got a lot of people on this call, right? But we're really not looking to structure that in this way. And that was kind of the catch with this webinar. What we're really looking to do is we're looking for a small, select few people who are really interested in, going blog-centric for the remainder of the year, 2017, and that they have the similar goals as us. And we're looking to kind of take them under our wing and help them get this up and running. There's a lot of moving parts. So instead, what we'd rather do is we'd rather take applications to have you guys apply to work with us in a coaching setting. So again, we could easily go and put a buy button up, right? And we'd make tons of sales, but we really care about the success of you guys, right? We want a high success rate, and we want action takers, and we know that that's what it's going to take. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw up an application link here, and before we do that, I want to kind of talk about who it's for and who it's not for. First off, if you're like super short on funds and you're struggling to put food on the table, this isn't going to be for you. You got a lot of training out of today, though, that being said, and definitely you should go and implement it. But this isn't going to be for you if you're really, really struggling to put food on the table. We want someone who's in a good position financially to invest in their business and invest in taking things to the next level. If you're not there yet, that's okay. Take this and act on it and get there, and then come back to us. But for those who are there, for those who are ready to take things to the next level, and you're ready to get serious about your business in 2017 and really go blog centric, I'd like to drop an application link for you and basically fill out some questions, answer these questions, and we're going to take a look at it and we're going to decide if we think this is a good fit for you. And at that point, what we'll do is we'll hop on a call. We'll reach out to you, hop on a call, and you and I will just kind of figure out, Stefan's going to be handling a lot of the coaching. I'm going to be handling a lot of deciding who's right for the coaching, so kind of like filtering and making sure that this is good, because we take this very seriously. We don't take taking your money lightly. We know that everyone works hard for their money, so we really want to make sure that you're a good fit for it before we do that. And that's going to be kind of my job throughout this whole process, is to really talk with you and figure out what you got going on in your business, and determining if you're a good fit for the program and if the program is a good fit for you. So the link for it, I don't know if you have it on a slide as well, Stefan, that we can drop for them.
I'll look that up for everyone now.
It's links.pauljames.com/blogging workshop. I'll also throw it in the chat box. I see some people asking how much, and I'm not going to go ahead and say any price point right on this call, because it wouldn't make sense to give you a price point without even knowing whether or not I have something to offer for you, because we don't even know if we can help you, so there'd be no point in giving you a price. But what I can say is it is a low four-figure investment. That being said, our goal is to help you get this entire thing set up so that you have your blog up and running and you've got the traffic coming in, and you can start building these mini units. Like, like your apartment building, and you're starting to lease out the units, just like Stefan has shown you, and like he's broken down. So again, not for everyone, but if you think that you're ready to blow your business up in 2017 in a big way and start leveraging a traffic method that a lot of people aren't using, I haven't seen anyone really talking about this, and that's what really drew me to this. And you want to work with us in making that happen, rather than going at it on your own, then I think that you should go ahead and apply. And again, we'll just have a low pressure chat, figure out what's going on in your business, figure out where you want to be, and figure out if we can help you get there, and if you think that we're a good fit to help you get there. And if not, that's cool. And if we are, then that's cool too. We'd love to work with you. But obviously, there's only two of us, and there's a lot of people on this call, so we definitely want to make sure that you're in a place that you're ready to do that. So we'd love to take some questions now, unless you have anything to add, Stefan, to that.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're gonna start taking questions momentarily, guys. But just to kind of build on what Paul said, we're both kind of established marketers at this point. We're both kind of definitely care about helping people get results. And when I started, I got burned by a lot of bad offers and bad things like that. And it's just kind of something that a lot of the same kind of garbage out there that I just got really sick of and had to overcome and figure out what was really working. That's the kind of stuff that you're going to be able to get help with here. Is from on my end, I'm someone who went through all the crap out there and all the kind of stuff that was preventing me from succeeding, and had to kind of figure out things on my own. And I'm ready to kind of get on here and really help you kind of avoid all those obstacles that it took me so long to help finally get results, and just kind of show you exactly what you need to be doing and kind of hold your hand to getting those results. And just kind of like what Paul said, there's really nothing like this out there right now, especially with the whole Pinterest advantage, which is going to be fully explained in this opportunity. There's a ton of long-term powerful potential with Pinterest and with a lot of the other things that I'm going to be showing you in this opportunity that just doesn't exist anywhere else knowledge-wise. And it's 2017 now. It's a new year. It's really a great chance for you to make this your best year yet by kind of taking advantage of this, and even seeing where you are in 3 months, a couple, even 6 weeks to 12 weeks down the road, how much progress you've made by taking the right steps and kind of seeing exactly what you need to be doing with this opportunity and with this method, with everything that we kind of explained on this call. That being said, I hope you guys have appreciated the training here. I mean, you could literally take this training and run and get results, or you could kind of, take advantage of this opportunity and see if you're a fit for the small group that we're going to be working with to really make this your best year and kind of fill in all the gaps that's been missing with your business, and just kind of really skyrocket your results. So that being said, yeah, I mean, let's take some questions and see what people are saying. Just scroll up a little bit, guys. See what your questions are.
I see Patricia's wondering about security issues, and I can say the one plugin that I'm using, and I actually recommended it to Stefan as well, and he's been using it now too, is WordFence, which is a great plugin.
Absolutely, yep. Just kind of seeing what people are saying here. There's a few people asking about, the method itself. Let me just kind of address some of these questions. Do you create a board for every category on your site? You could do that, yeah. I mean, if you have, gardening, maybe you want to do one about planting flowers, maybe you want to do another one about planting vegetables or something. You could kind of structure it around your content. And I actually cover the best way to set this up with this opportunity, so all of that is going to be explained. Andrew's asking, do you ever curate content instead of writing it yourself? By curate, I assume you mean like spinning. I'm not sure what you mean by curate. But I mean, I don't like
do you take it, curate means like if you take it from another blog and then at the bottom put where the content came from.
Got it. Yeah, I don't really usually like to do that just because I feel that it creates duplicate content, especially for SEO. And also, I mean, you could do that if you want fast, easy traffic. Just make sure you're not doing anything that could get you in trouble with the other blog, because a lot of times you're not really supposed to be doing that, even if um, you source them. You're usually supposed to ask permission for that kind of thing. That being said, I usually recommend having your own unique content, but again, you can outsource this for very cheap, and you can also invite people to come and be a guest poster for you. So you can have other people that maybe want to get some traffic to their blog, and maybe they already have a somewhat authoritative blog. They can come in and do some free content for you, and even link to their website. If it has some decent authority, that might even boost your website's SEO rankings. So that's kind of the different ways that I would go about doing it. I wouldn't recommend doing too much content curation if that's the case, what you're thinking. Um, Someone saying they can't find the 10 ways to know if your dog is happy. I linked to it before. It's on there. It's one of the 34 posts. My site is doggydesires.com if you want to look at it. Um, just again, I cover everything on how to structure your posts the right way with this opportunity. So let me just kind of scroll down a little more. Um, Someone's asking how many posts a week. That's basically a content schedule. So content schedule is, it's more about consistency than anything. So you don't have to have a certain amount of posts up every week. You can kind of go at the own speed that is convenient for you as long as you're consistent, whether that might be one post a week or maybe 3 posts a week or whatever rate you want to go at. And again, this is something that I definitely cover in the opportunity about finding the right post and content schedule for you. Um, Sue asks about how are you outsourcing the writing of the post. This is something that I didn't actually get to cover, but the site is iwriter.com. So basically it's just www.iwriter.com, and you could go there and you could just kind of get people to write content for you on any topic for really cheap, and you don't pay unless you like the content. So, and again, that's one of a few different ways that you could outsource, and I go about covering all this in our opportunity here. Um, let's see. Frankie says that we're the real deal. Really appreciate that, Frankie. I'm really glad to have all you guys here. I hope you've appreciated what we've done here. I hope we did a good job of showing you how powerful blogging is in 2017 and all the different ways that you could take your blog and start getting results. Let's see. Where do you get all the content? Yeah, I mean, so Deborah, kind of just as I mentioned, you could post it yourself. You could do guest posting. You could also use iWriter and other outsourcing sites. William says, I'm in. It's really great to hear, William. Glad you found this of value. Let's see. Mike says, we've piqued his interest. We're really great. He's going to definitely fill out the app. Thank you, Mike. I'm glad that you really found some great value here. Let's see. Suzanne says thank you. No problem. I hope take this and implement it, Suzanne. I hope you see that this is really, really powerful, guys, and really going to help you. Don says thank you. Thank you so much, Don, for being here. Someone says, can you do a blog with different topics? Absolutely. Some people just do viral topics blogs. You could do I actually saw a blog that was all about women the other day. So it covered women's fitness, women's fashion, women's cooking for women, or kind of just took different direction of women's stuff and really broke it down that way, which is a really unique way of going about it, kind of having like a broad topic and having subtopics within it. I mean, this is something that really, when it comes down to it, you could go in so many different directions with your blog and kind of just build out different pieces of it. And that's all stuff that we definitely cover with this opportunity to make sure that you're starting off on the right foot and kind of getting results in the easiest way possible. Let's see.
That's a really good idea, by the way, that you just mentioned. I like that. It's a really good way to structure a blog.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's, that's why I just love blogging in general, because there's so many different ways that you could take it. Colby says, for guest posts, you just email, select related blogs, or do you have a website for that? Colby, yeah, I mean, you just find related blogs in your niche, and you just contact them and see if they want to do a guest post. But you could also just have a page on your blog that says "Write for Us," and have some information of how visitors can basically come in and write for you on your blog, and give them a link or to an email or somewhere where they can contact you and see if you like their writing, and if they want to do a guest, if you want them to do a guest post. So you could reach out to them. You could also have a page on your blog to say, contact us here. And this is all covered with our opportunity here. We're going to really delve in and make sure that all these questions are answered in full force. Colin asks a really important question. He says, is this an opportunity for someone who is just starting a blog, or more for someone who is already working at it? Colin, it's for both. I mean, this is kind of showing you how to take either an existing blog or really kind of start from scratch and get it going the right way by setting up everything in similar ways to what we talk about here, but taking it kind of like in full detail with full hand-holding, making sure that you're not really missing anything. So guys, don't feel like this is for someone advanced. This is all very simple, and if you feel like maybe you need that extra hand-holding, then this is a perfect chance for you to get it. We're really here to kind of help you. And, we both had tremendous success with blogs, and we've kind of had a lot of time to figure out what's working. And that's what we kind of want to give to you with this opportunity. So, yeah, Colin, this is perfect for anyone who's just starting out, or someone who maybe has a blog but hasn't really been able to get much success with it, or even for someone that maybe has a blog, is doing well, but wants to really use Pinterest to help take it to the next level. So you're in the right place regardless of what level you're at. I mean, this is designed to get anyone with any experience up to speed pretty quickly and start having results with this kind of asset that you're building, and this kind of advantage over others that are not going to be using Pinterest and not even going to be using blogging in 2017.
Definitely. Yeah, I think if you just ask yourself the question, am I really where I want to be with my blog right now? And if the answer to that is no, then I think this is definitely a good fit for you. Any other questions, guys, before we wrap? I think Stefan did a really good job of presenting, so there's not a super lot of questions, so that's great. And we definitely appreciate your guys' time. And Stefan, I appreciate you coming on and teaching this to my tribe as well. It's awesome of you to do.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here, guys. Thanks for kind of having me on, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I don't see any more questions. Should we give a 2-minute warning?
Sure. Yeah, let's do that, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I mean, this is a great opportunity for you to get any question you have answered, before we wrap up here. Any questions you have at all. And while those are coming in, I'm just going to say, again, thanks for coming out tonight, guys, and I hope you found a lot of value in what we showed you. And I hope this kind of, gives you a little bit of a direction to say, oh, this is how to go about it. And, if you're ready to kind of take that plunge, you're welcome to go at it by yourself, use the content of this webinar. But again, if you feel that you want to get, some really, really special help and get the full insight, kind of really get to amazing results in weeks and months down the road, definitely fill out the application here, we're excited to talk to you and see about how we can really help you propel and take 2017 to be your best year yet. JMH says, thanks, Stefan and Paul. No problem. Thanks for being here. Sarah says, can I use Facebook instead of Pinterest? Sarah, Facebook is okay, but really the power of what we're doing comes from Pinterest, because you can't really do what we're doing here with Facebook. This is a really special method with Pinterest, and it's much more effective in terms of getting really fast visitors to your website. So really what you want to be using is, in this case, for the free traffic, for tons of free traffic, you definitely want to be using Pinterest. I use Facebook as well, and trust me, the majority of the traffic still comes in through Pinterest. Colby's asking about e-commerce, an e-commerce centric website. Yeah, you definitely can. It works really good for e-commerce. I have a lot of e-commerce stuff on my dog blog, as you saw. But really what it comes down to is it's about how you structure the content and how you go about promoting those e-commerce things. The Pinterest is really just about getting tons of visitors, and how you convert them is kind of just how you structure your blog and the content and everything on that side, which is something that is definitely covered with this opportunity. Barbara says, thanks for all the great info. Thanks for being here, Barbara. Tommy says, thanks for your time and opportunity. Absolutely. Let's see. Let's see. People are asking a lot of questions about the program, guys. I think the best way to go about this is just fill out the application and we'll talk to you one-on-one. It's not something we want to get into right here for a few reasons, but really, if you're serious and this is for you, then just fill out the application and we'll get in touch with you and we'll really make sure we cover all that.
Yeah, we're really wanting to customize this to you, so it's not like we can just say this is what it is and this is the price, because we can't offer you something without knowing your business and knowing if we can help you. It just that wouldn't be right of us to do and not something we want to do. So if you think that you're at a place where you're ready to invest in yourself and your business and you want to take things to the next level and get a blog that you can earn money with and build a business and build upon, and you don't want to go at it alone, and you felt like you got to know us during this call, and you saw the ton of value that we gave away, then I think you'll know deep down, trust your gut instinct on this and fill it out. Most people know, deep down in their gut, they have a gut feeling or a gut instinct that this is something they want to pull the trigger on. So if you're feeling that way, I think you should definitely fill it out. And if we look at your application and see, yeah, this is someone we want to talk with further, we'll definitely reach out and we'll talk to you. So don't be afraid to fill it out. As long as you're serious about your business and serious in taking it to the next level, that's what it takes.
Absolutely. Mike, no problem. I'm glad you're here. Glad that you could have joined us tonight. Any more questions, guys? I guess now we'll do like a little 1 minute kind of warning before we wrap up. Last
One
chance.
final mindset thing too, guys, for those of you maybe struggling with I'm looking at this as an expense. Don't look at it as an expense, right? Everything that you do is either like an expense or an investment, and this is an investment. This is something that you're going to invest in order to better your business. It's not an expense. It's not something like you spend the money and it was an expense. This you want to look at as an investment, and every investment has an opportunity cost. And what I mean by that is there's a cost of the investment, what you would pay, and then there's the opportunity cost of what happens if you don't pay. What happens next month or the month after if you didn't get the blog up and running, if you didn't get the traffic coming in, if you didn't have a post making you $252 every single month off of one single post, and you didn't build 10 posts just like that, or by the end of the year didn't build 100 posts just like that because you just didn't do it, or you didn't know how to do it, or there was too many moving parts and you wish that you just would have hired a mentor to help you with it, right? So there's that opportunity cost, and you definitely don't want to look back and think, wow, what a big opportunity cost I missed out on, right?
Exactly.
So that's how I look at mentorships.
Yep, exactly. This is an investment, guys. You're gonna put some, time into this. You're gonna have an opportunity to really kind of get an advantage that a lot of people are not gonna be able to have, and really, turn things around in the next 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and months, and basically by the end of this year, especially, you're gonna be so glad that you took this opportunity because you're gonna be in a completely different spot with your business than you were at the beginning of the year, and it's just something special here that we put together. Again, there's really nothing like this out there, and it's really just a really great chance for you to kind of, get this year started on the right foot, put all the past years behind you, forget about any failed attempts in the past, and just really get things going on the right foot. Looks like, yeah, I mean, if anyone has any more questions, get them in the chat box quickly. We'll be happy to answer these questions, and we're probably going to wrap up in about a minute. So speak now or hold your peace.
Irma is asking a question about the intake form, so I'll just privately answer that one to you in the chat since it relates to the application. All right, guys. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Thanks for attending, and thanks, Stefan, for doing an awesome presentation. I think that everyone will agree that this is probably one of the best webinars they've been on probably in the past year, and probably the rest of this year, I bet.
Well, thank you, Paul. Appreciate that, and appreciate everyone coming out to kind of talk about this stuff tonight with us. And yeah, thanks, guys. And I guess that's it.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap here, and take care.
All right, guys.